In this particular segment, we are going to review concepts of upstream movement, downstream movement, as well as review the concepts of speed, distance, and time. We need to solve simultaneous equations based on these concepts, so that is why these concepts are important. Let's assume that there is a river which flows from point A to point B, okay, and point A is much higher and as compared to point B. And let's assume that the speed of the water current is W kilometers per hour. Okay. Now in this stream, there is a boat which is trying to go upwards, or it is trying to go up the stream, which means its motion is in the opposite direction as compared to the motion of water. Now let's assume that the speed of the boat is B kilometers per hour. Okay. In still water, meaning if the water was not flowing, then the speed of the boat would be B kilometers per hour. Now because the boat is rowing in a direction which is opposite to the direction of flow of water, it means that the speed of the boat is going to be reduced, because while it is trying to go up at B kilometers per hour, at the same time it is being pushed downwards by the stream of the water which is flowing at W kilometers per hour. That means while B is the speed of the boat so this is the speed of the boat in still water, that is when the water does not flow, but because it is trying to go upwards, its relative speed or its speed is going to be reduced to B minus W. That is because while it is trying to go up at B kilometers per hour, the water stream is flowing downwards at W kilometers per hour, and because these are in opposite directions, the effective speed is going to be B minus W kilometers per hour. So the effective speed of the boat upstream is going to be B minus W. So for example, let's take some numbers. Assume that I have the boat moving at 15 kilometers per hour, okay, in still water, and the flow of water current is at 10 kilometers per hour. Then what is going to happen is, if the water was not flowing, this boat would have gone upwards by 15 kilometers in 1 hour. But at the same time, the water is moving downwards at 10 kilometers per hour. So while it would mean that it is moving 15 kilometers upwards, the base of the boat is moving 10 kilometers downwards, because the water current is flowing at 10 kilometers per hour. And therefore, the effective speed of the boat is therefore going to be 15 minus 10, that is 5 kilometers per hour, right? So every hour it is going to move only 5 kilometers. So consider the following statements. Assume a boat moving at speed of B, of course the units are kilometers per hour, in still water. Still water means the water doesn't move, and let W be the speed of the water current. Then the effective stream upwards would be equal to B minus W, okay? Because the direction of motion is opposite to each other, the boat is moving upwards while the water is moving downwards, the effective speed is going to be B minus W. Now, of course, we have to remember that B has to be greater than W for the boat to move upwards. If W was greater than B, that is, if the water current was flowing much faster than the boat, then the boat would move downwards, right? So for a boat to move upstream, its speed definitely has to be greater than the speed of the water. Only then the boat is going to move upwards. And if b is equal to w, then the boat wouldn't move at all. So then the boat would remain stationary. So the moral of this picture is, if the boat has to move upwards, then the speed of the boat in still water has to be greater than that of the speed of the water current. The effective speed reduces to b minus w, and therefore if I were to calculate the time, I know that distance is equal to speed multiplied by time, and therefore the time taken would be distance divided by the speed, right? So in this case, if say I'm moving 40 kilometers upstream, right? And the speeds are b and w, then the time taken to move upwards would be 40 divided by b minus w, because b minus w is the effective speed, right? So these are some important concepts in the upstream movement. Let me pause for a minute so that you can grasp all of this, and then we will move on to the concept of downstream movement. Okay, moving on to the concepts of downstream motion. So again, let's assume that there is a stream or a river, and let us assume that the boat is situated in this stream. Okay, so this is the stream. Let's assume that the water is flowing at w kilometers per hour, and let the points be A and B, where A is situated at a greater altitude. Now suppose the boat is rowing downwards, right? Suppose the boat is rowing downwards, and now what happens is, in still water the boat is rowing at b kilometers per hour. So boat is at b kilometers per hour in still water. But now you will notice that the motion of the boat is downwards. The motion of the water is also downwards. So what is going to happen is, the effective motion of the boat and water is going to be downwards, and it will add up to b plus w, right? And why this happens is because the direction of motion is the same. Assume that you are trying to run at some speed, and there is somebody who is trying to push you from your back. So you will notice that your speed effectively increases, because the direction of the force which is trying to take you forward is in the same direction as your motion. So over here, the boat is rowing at b kilometers per hour by itself, and the water is also pushing it down at w kilometers per hour, right? And that is why the effective speed becomes b plus w. So the effective speed of the boat downwards, becomes b plus w, and therefore the time taken to go downwards, will be the distance to go downwards divided by the effective speed, which is b plus w, right? So in case of the upstream and downstream motion, the effective speed of the boat changes. In case of upstream, it is b minus w, and in case of downstream, it is b plus w. So when you're trying to find the time taken for you to row the boat, you will have to take into account these effective speeds, right? So this was the concept of the downstream motion, and again I'll pause for a few seconds before I move to the concept of distance, speed and time. So we know the relation distance is equal to speed into time, which means you can play around with this particular equation and write it in different forms. You can write speed is distance upon time, right? This is one form that you can write. You could also write the time is distance upon speed. So these are the different flavors of the same formula, and based on the question that you have, you will really have to choose the right representation. So in case the time is given to you, then I would go with the third equation here, right? If you are going to form, suppose they give you the time taken to go upstream and return downstream is say 8 hours, right? So in that case, what I would do is I would say time taken to go upstream plus time taken to go downstream is 8 hours. Now time taken to go upstream is going to be distance upon B minus W, because this is the effective speed of the boat upstream, and time taken to go downstream is going to be distance upon B plus W, right? And this addition is equal to 8. So which equation needs to be picked up entirely depends on what conditions are given to you. If the time is given to you, then you would pick this particular equation, the third one. In case the speed is given to you, then you would try to represent it in this particular form. And in case the distance is given to you, then it would just be distance is speed into time. So it entirely depends on the question which of the relations should be picked. Generally, always look for the given quantities, and then you should filter out which of these equations are required, right? So now let us take some questions based on speed, distance and time, as well as upstream, downstream, and things should be clear. So consider this particular question. The boat goes 30 kilometers upstream. Let us underline the important parts. 30 kilometers upstream and 44 kilometers downstream in 10 hours. So this is one condition given to you. Why don't we just note it down? So 30 kilometers upstream plus it's not 30 kilometers, it's 44 kilometers downstream. So let's note that down. 44 kilometers downstream. The total time taken is 10 hours, right? And similarly, it goes 40 kilometers upstream and 55 kilometers downstream in 13 hours. That is given to you. That means to go 40 kilometers upstream and return 55 kilometers downstream, right? This total time taken is 13 hours. Now we have to determine the speed of the stream. Naturally, we have to pick these as the variables. So we have to find the speed of the stream and the speed of the boat in still water. So I would just take my variables now. So I would say let V be the speed of the boat in still water, and let W be the speed of the water, let W be the speed of the stream. Okay. Now let's see the equations. The total time is given. So the time taken to go 30 kilometers upstream, I know that time is equal to distance divided by speed. So let's do some rough work here. Distance upon speed. Now to go 30 kilometers upstream, the distance is 30, right? So 30 kilometers upstream, the distance is 30, and I'm going upstream. That means my effective speed is B minus W. And for 44 kilometers downstream, the distance is 44 kilometers and the speed downstream is B plus W, right? So this is the time taken to go upstream, distance upon speed, and this is the time taken to go downstream, which is 44 upon B plus W. It's given that total time is 10 hours. So let us now frame our first equation. We have 30 divided by B minus W plus 44 divided by B plus W. This total time is 10 hours. Similarly, 40 kilometers upstream. So the effective time is going to be 40 divided by B minus W plus 55 kilometers downstream is going to be 55 upon B plus W. This total time is 13 hours, right? So this is the first equation and this is the second equation. We have to find the variables B and W. So this looks very similar to my substitution method, right? There is a substitution that I can make and I can get the equations easily. So the substitution that I will do is let A be 1 by B plus W. So instead of A, let us pick X and Y. I think those are better variables here so that we don't take B anywhere. So let X be 1 by B plus W and let Y be 1 by B minus W. Therefore, I get 30X plus 44Y is equal to 10, right? This is my first equation. And the second equation would be 40X plus 55Y is equal to 13, right? So now I will solve for equations 3 and 4. I will solve for X and Y basically. And after I get X and Y, I will substitute these back and then find the values of B and W. So now let me decide which variable to eliminate. I have decided to eliminate X. So to eliminate X, I will multiply the third equation by 4. So that gives me 120X plus 176Y is equal to 10 4s are 40. And let's multiply the fourth equation by 3. So it becomes 120X plus 165Y. And this is multiplied by 3, so it becomes 39. And now if we subtract, what happens is X is going to be eliminated. So let's do that. When I subtract, X goes away and Y remains. So I get 176 minus 165 is 11Y is equal to 40 minus 39 is 1, which means Y is equal to 1 by 11, right? And what is Y actually? Y is 1 by B minus W. So I can get B minus W. But wait, now that we have got Y, let us substitute Y to get the value of X. So let's substitute Y equal to 11, Y equal to 11 in say the third equation. So it becomes 30x plus 44 into 1 by 11. So 44 times 1 by 11 is equal to 10. Now 44 and 11 cancels 4 times, which means 30x is equal to 6. So 30x equals 6 implies x equals 1 by 5, right? So I have y equals 1 by 11 and x equals 1 by 5. Now let us find the values for x and y. By the way, it looks like as I did a mistake in the substitution. X should have been 1 by b minus w and y should have been 1 by b plus w, right? So this should have been minus and this should have been plus. So now I'm going to substitute the values of x and y and get the values of b and w. So let's do it over here. We have x is 1 by b minus w. So 1 by b minus w and x is 1 by 5, which implies b minus w is equal to 5. That's my fifth equation. And similarly, y is 1 by b plus w. So 1 by b plus w is 1 by 11, which means b plus w is equal to 11. This is the sixth equation. So now if you solve equations 5 and 6, you will get b as 8 and w as 3. And therefore, the speed of the boat is 8 kilometers per hour in still water and the speed of water is 3 kilometers per hour. So that is going to be my final answer. So the boat is moving at 8 kilometers per hour and the water moves at 3 kilometers per hour. So the final statement that I would write is as follows. The speed of the stream is 3 kilometers per hour and speed of the boat in still water is 8 kilometers per hour. So again, just to quickly recap, I wrote the upstream and downstream parameters. Here the time was given. So I wrote everything in terms of time. And then I used the concept that time is distance upon speed. So I framed the first two equations based on the idea that time is equal to distance upon speed. After these two equations were framed, I saw that the variables were in the denominator. So I went ahead and I substituted x and y as my variables. And then I got two simpler equations. I solved for x and y, and then I found the values for b plus w and b minus w in this particular box. And after I did that, I got the values of b and w, right? So this is essentially how we go about this particular question. Let me pause for a few seconds before I move on to the next one. Okay, moving on to the next question. A boat goes 24 kilometers upstream and 28 kilometers downstream in 6 hours. It goes 30 kilometers upstream and 21 kilometers downstream in 6.5 hours. Find the speed of the boat in still water and also the speed of the stream. So let's make our regular assumptions. Let the speed of the boat be b. Let the speed of the boat in still water be b kilometers per hour, and let the speed of water stream be w kilometers per hour. Now let's see what it is given. It is given that 24 kilometers upstream, right? 24 kilometers upstream plus the time taken for 28 kilometers downstream is 6 hours, and time for 30 kilometers upstream and 21 kilometers downstream, this is equal to 6.5 hours. So 6.5 hours is 6.5. Of course you can write it as 13 by 2 as well. So let's do that. So this is 13 upon 2. And now let us frame the equations. So 24 kilometers upstream, the time taken would be, distance is 24 divided by the effective speed upstream is going to be b minus w, plus 28 kilometers downstream would be 28 divided by the effective speed will be b plus w, and that equals 6. And the second equation would be 30 upon b minus w plus 21 kilometers downstream would be 21 upon b plus w is equal to 13 upon 2, right? So these are my first two equations. Now, of course, a substitution is definitely possible. So let's make that substitution. Let's say let us say that let x be equal to 1 by b minus w and let y be equal to 1 by b plus w. So this becomes 24 times x. So 24x plus 28y is equal to 6. This is equal to 6. And the second equation is 30x plus 21y is equal to 6.5, which is 13 upon 2, right? Now let's decide which variable to eliminate. I have decided that a variable x should go. So this is my third equation and this is my fourth equation. So let me now go ahead and multiply the third equation by 5. So that becomes 120x plus 140y is equal to 30. Multiplying the third equation by 5, and let's multiply the fourth equation by 4. So you get 120x plus 84y. 13 by 2 multiplied by 4 will be 26, right? So this is the fourth equation multiplied by 4. And therefore subtraction, when you subtract, x variable goes away. So 140y minus 84y becomes 56y, and 30 minus 26 becomes 4, which means y is equal to 4 upon 56, which is equal to 1 by 14. Now I can substitute y. Substitute y equals 1 by 14 in, say, the third equation, and you will get 24x plus 28y. So 28 times y is 1 by 14. This equals 6. So 24x plus 2 is equal to 6, which means 24x is equal to 4, and therefore x is equal to 4 by 24, which is 1 by 6, right? So now I got the values for x and y. Now it's time to go ahead and find the values of b and w. So x is 1 by b minus w, which equals 1 by 6, right? And therefore b minus w should be equal to 6. Similarly, y is equal to 1 by 14, but y is 1 by b plus w, and therefore b plus w should be equal to 14. Now if you solve these two simultaneous equations, you will get b equals 10 and w equals 4, and the unit is of course kilometers per hour, right? So the boat is rowing at 10 kilometers per hour and the water is flowing at 4 kilometers per hour. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute these over here and check if my equations hold true. So to go upstream, the boat is going at 10 kilometers per hour and the water is at 4 kilometers per hour. So the effective stream upstream is going to be 10 minus 4, that's 6, right? So b minus w is 6, and to go downstream, the water is flowing at 4 kilometers per hour. The boat is rowing at 10 kilometers per hour. So the effective speed is going to be 14, right? So 28 by 14 becomes 2 and 24 by 6 becomes 4, and 4 plus 2 becomes 6. At the same time, 30 upon 6 becomes 5 and 21 by 14 becomes 1.5. So 5 plus 1.5 is 6.5, which is equal to 13 by 2, right? So the given values of b and w definitely satisfy the given conditions, and hence our answer is right. So let me again pause for a few moments before we move on. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, consider this question. Ritu can row 20 kilometers downstream in 2 hours and upstream 4 kilometers in 2 hours. Find the speed of the boat in still water and the speed of the current of water. So again, let me take my variables. So let B be the speed of boat in still water, speed of boat in still water, and let W be the speed of current of water, speed of current of water. So it's given that Ritu can row 20 kilometers downstream in 2 hours. So the time taken to go downstream, will be 2 hours. What is the time taken to go downstream? It is the distance to go downstream, that is 20, divided by the speed while going downstream is going to be B plus W, right? And this equals 2 hours, right? So over here, the sum of the time is not given, just the time taken to go downstream 20 kilometers is given. So this is the simple equation, which means 20 is equal to 2 times B plus W, and therefore 10 is equal to B plus W. This will be my first equation. Now let us go ahead and look at the next condition that is given. To go 4 kilometers upstream, it again takes 2 hours. So time taken to go upstream is also 2 hours. Time taken to go upstream will be the distance taken to distance upstream, that is 4 kilometers, upon the speed to go upstream will be B minus W, and that is equal to 2 hours. So again, 4 is equal to 2 times B minus W, which means B minus W is equal to 2. This forms my second equation, and therefore solving for x and y, solving equations 1 and 2, for x and y we get, for variables x and y, we get B is equal to 6 kilometers per hour and W will be 4 kilometers per hour. So these are the values of B and W that satisfy the given equations. So this was a much simpler problem as compared to the previous one, and I will again pause for a few moments before moving on to the next one. Moving on with the next question. So consider this question. A boat can go 12 kilometers upstream and 40 kilometers downstream in 8 hours. It can go 16 kilometers upstream and 32 kilometers downstream in the same time. Find the speed of the boat. Excuse me for this mistake. Find the speed of the boat in still water and the speed of the water current. Okay. So let us solve this question. Let us again take our variables. So let B be the speed of the boat in still water, speed of the boat in still water, and let W be the speed of the water current, So now what I'm going to do is, let's note down the important parts. 12 kilometers upstream and 40 kilometers downstream in 8 hours. So that means time taken to go 12 kilometers upstream plus time taken to go 40 kilometers downstream. This total time is 8 hours. And the time taken to go the time taken to go 16 kilometers upstream, the time taken to go 16 kilometers upstream and 32 kilometers downstream. So time taken to go 16 kilometers upstream plus time taken to go 32 kilometers downstream is also equal to 8 hours, because it is given that it covers the same distance in this same time, right? So now let us find the speed of the boat in still water and speed of the water current. So the time taken to go 12 kilometers upstream is going to be 12 divided by the effective speed upstream will be B minus W, and to go 40 kilometers downstream it will be 40 by B plus W. This time is equal to 8. And similarly, to go 16 kilometers upstream it will be 16 by B minus W plus 32 kilometers downstream will be 32 by B plus W. This is equal to 8, right? So these are my first two equations. Now of course I need to proceed to my substitutions. There is a way to do this without substitution also, but we generally prefer substitution because it makes it much easier, or rather it is less cumbersome using substitutions. So what we will do is we will say let x be equal to 1 by b minus w and let y be equal to 1 by b plus w. Therefore the equations become 12x plus 40y is equal to 8, and the second equation is 16x plus 32y is equal to 8, right? So now it's possible to simplify these equations even further by simply dividing them by 4 or even by 8 in some case. But what I will do is I will just proceed with these equations as they are, and let me eliminate x. So 48 is the LCM. So let's multiply the third equation by 4 and fourth equation by 3. So you get 48x plus 160y is equal to 32. And the fourth equation is multiplied by 3. So again 48x plus 96y is equal to 8 3s are 24. Now if you subtract, you will get the value of y. So let's subtract, and you get 64y is equal to 8, which means y equals 1 by 8. Now let's substitute y equal to 1 by 8. So substitute y equal to 1 by 8, and we get say we can substitute it in the third equation. So you get 12x plus 40 times 1 by 8 is equal to 8, right? And 40 and 8 simplify by 5 times. So 12x is equal to 3, which means x equals 1 by 4. So now I have x and I have y. So let's find the value of b and w. X is basically 1 by b minus w, which equals 1 by 4. And this implies b minus w is equal to 4. And we have y equals 1 by b plus w, which equals 1 by 8, which implies b plus w is equal to 8. So now I have equations 5 and 6, and from these two equations we can now definitely solve for b and w, right? So solving for b and w, you will get b equals 6 and w equals 2, and therefore the answer can be mentioned as follows. So the speed of the boat is 6 kilometers per hour in still water, and the speed of the water current is 2 kilometers per hour. So this is how we solve equations based on upstream and downstream. I'll again pause for a few seconds so that you can take a look at how this particular equation was framed, and how the equations were framed, and what was the idea of substitution, and how we got the values of p and w. Concluding today's session,